Hello and welcome to the 2016 SMPTE elections. I'm your host, Ryan Salazar. Today our guest is Francois Abbe, candidate for EMEA Central and South Governor of SMPTE. How are you, Francois?
I'm doing very well, Ryan. Thank you.
And if you would, please briefly introduce yourself.
Well, I was graduated actually from the UK in Europe as a communications engineer, and spent my first 3 years in R&D designing the first DVB-T, Freeview, digital to air television, DTV as you would say in the US, and then gradually moved as an interface between what you could call the designers on one side and the users on the other, so doing product marketing. This is where I learned the real world, what's happening behind the screens and the mics, whatever the sizes. And let's say the third period of my career has been spent moving back to France, my native region, or native country, where I've been doing work around architecture. So not designing buildings, but designing a big, you could call it B2B video, formerly known as broadcast systems there.
Francois, if you would, please share your SMPTE experience and how the society has benefited from your participation.
Right. You know, I was at the middle of this MXF launch probably 15 years ago, and I found it very hard to support. And when IMF, Interpol Master Format, a part of the group 35 PM, came to the game, I was very interested because I thought it was a good heritage from both the D-Cinema and the existing broadcast work. And ever since been involved, it was probably 2011. And added to this my view as an end user, if you like, being involved with several media groups, mainly in Europe, and been one of the 49 voting members of this working group ever since.
Excellent. Why are you the right person for this job?
Well, I think it's a very large region because it means UK, Middle East, Africa, Central America, South America. And I think you need someone who has done a fair bit in many countries, and that's my case. Just in the past 12 months, I've been in 7 countries. And you also need to be able to deal with several languages. And, you know, I could probably say a few words in 3 and 4 or 4 languages. So beside French and English, I can do Spanish, a little bit of Portuguese. So I think that's very important for the role. I could also say that I'm probably one of the younger members, and this will help give a different perspective as well.
What is one challenge that your region faces, and if you're elected, how would you, in your role as governor, overcome this challenge?
I think there's two sides to this. The first one is we need to have a Central and Latin America region in itself. So that will probably be priority one, to ensure that those guys are being looked after into one separate region. And in the meantime, of course, do my best to support those guys. And the second side to this would be to say that SMPTE obviously is an English-speaking society, and we need to do more to actually bridge the gap between people who don't natively speak English and this big knowledge base which is SMPTE. And I think there's a lot to be done around that.
All right, again, Francois Abbe, candidate for EMEA Central and South Governor of SMPTE. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning.
My pleasure, Ryan. Thank you.